Welcome back to VMworld Live. I'm John Troyer. We're here in Copenhagen, VMworld 2010. I'm here with Brian Rice.
Hey, John, it's great to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to see you. Thanks for coming on.
And you know, John, I've never, ever seen you in a tie and a sport coat before in my life. I've got this compulsion to talk about life insurance policies with you.
We can discuss that afterwards. I have some very attractive offers.
I'm not surprised.
Well, no, it's about this credibility thing. We just add a little bit of gravitas here in Europe. So, Brian, you're with our education and our certification groups. So tell me a little bit about that. Why education certification? What's the value you guys bring to the table?
Absolutely. Let's talk about each one of them in turn. First of all, our customers are doing something new when they come and sit down with VMware. And they're doing something that has a radical impact on the way they do IT. And so that means that they have several things they need. One is they need experience. They need confidence, even more than experience in many cases. They need knowledge. They need horizontal networking. They need validation of their ideas. And for a lot of people, the easiest and cheapest way to get that is with training. VMware has been in the training business alongside its software business for as long as it's had a services operation. I joined the company in 2002, and at that time, our entire professional services department could have fit along this table here. And it's a little bigger than that now. But education is still a very, very important part of the mix. It's now a big channelized business. We have VMware authorized training centers around the world, and they're all in the same business, giving customers knowledge and confidence, and in particular with our hands-on training courses, the opportunity to try new things with our products in an environment where they can't get fired.
Right. Well, I think what's been interesting is you guys have also added recently some more advanced classes, and that from a community perspective has been great because there's a lot of install configure and a lot of the basic classes for your VCP, but once you've mastered those, it's like we need the graduate level now. So can you talk a little bit about some of the new classes?
Oh, absolutely. You know, back in the olden days, this was our course map, a thing right there. Here's our course. Go to that one. And now I'm really happy to say we have a curriculum that is shaped not just like a hand with a center core that fans out in multiple directions, but in fact we've got multiple hands now.
Okay.
We're aiming for the whole body, but we'll start with the hand. Yeah. We have courses in specifically the vSphere area that, for example, give you advanced skills in performance analysis, characterization, and tuning. That's our performance class. We have a class called troubleshooting, which anytime there's a perceived incident where the system is behaving differently from the customer's expectations, that's a troubleshooting scenario.
And the challenge there is often in virtualization is the newcomer, and so the fingers get pointed at the virtual machine, but really it's often the application or the storage or some other component, and so it's a nice skill to have.
And in particular, a lot of people who are sysadmins have their troubleshooting skills tested when virtualization comes in. Many sysadmins, I've worked alongside them, have a random approach to troubleshooting. But, they try stuff, and sooner or later they find what it was. But in a virtual environment, there's new layers, and that means that a random approach is much less likely to succeed because the universe is bigger. So our troubleshooting course has a strong focus on a systematic approach, which I'm very happy about.
Well, let's go over to the certification side for a while. You're also working with that. We've had the VCP for a long time, the VMware Certified Professional. And now can you talk about some of the new certifications we've added recently?
Absolutely. Let me set the stage.
Sure.
Right now we have 50,000 VCPs worldwide. And the program has come a long, long way from when I first opened up my PowerPoint and typed in the first exam survey. Actually, originally the exams were printed out by me and distributed on paper. I'm sure you've met Susan Gudenkopf, who's VCP number one. I personally scored her paper with a red pen.
She's one of the hosts of our VMworld TV over on YouTube.
Absolutely. We've had VCDX for a long time, which is our elite program. It's RCCIE for folks who know Cisco. There's 50 of those in the world. So 50,000, 50. There's a few orders of magnitude in there. Our customers and partners have been demanding something in the middle, something that they can use to differentiate themselves from the many VCPs out there without having to make the massive investment of time and expertise and wisdom it takes to be a VCDX. That's what VCAP is all about.
And the VCAP stands for?
VMware Certified Advanced Professional.
Okay.
Maybe someday we'll have VCEAP, VMware Certified Extremely Advanced Professional. We are naming geniuses, let me assure you.
Marketing.
But there's two specializations within that. One of them is on data center administration, and the other is on design of vSphere deployments. Those two together form not only new standalone certifications, but they also are the path to VCDX in the vSphere 4 timeframe.
Now we go to great lengths. It's always been, we go to great lengths that we don't have what's called a paper cert. I mean, the certification, certification at some level is symbolic. All degrees and certifications are that you've gone through the process. But we want them to mean something.
Sure.
And so we work very hard against brain dump organizations and other cheating organizations.
Correct.
But now it's interesting that these VCAP, at least one of them has a kind of a more practical component as well. Or what are some other things we're doing to avoid paper certs?
Absolutely. I mentioned there's two VCAP certifications. The first one I mentioned, the Data Center Administration credential, actually uses a live lab. When you go in to take this exam, you register, sign in, the screen clears, and you're presented with an actual desktop. And it's actual hardware that you're talking to. And your assignment is to complete a laundry list of tasks within the allotted time. And frankly, it's rather hard to steal that. Put that on their site and say, okay, you have to do all of these things, but it'd be rather difficult for them to help people cheat.
When you're sitting there looking at the UI and you have no idea how, what section to go to or what to look for or what command to type.
That's right. And by the way, I did name that organization. We're coming for you.
You heard it here.
That's right.
So, and other things we're doing about kind of try to measure actual experience on the certification side.
I should mention the data center design credential. That one has people actually perform a design using a Visio-like environment. In that examination, you're presented with multiple sets of requirements, and you're asked to arrange on-screen components into a design much as you would do in the real world. Again, it's intended to reward actual experience at the expense of people who merely memorized a book. That's what we think gives the credential value.
No. The program has expanded a lot in the last year or two, both the education and certification side. VMware is also expanding its mandate. We talk a lot about end-user computing. We're starting to talk about vFabric and application development. And mostly I end up talking to our infrastructure customers, who are all sysadmins and admins, and that's what most of our courses are geared towards. How are we starting to have the bigger conversation? Where is education and certification going in terms of all of IT, I guess? Absolutely.
Well, you've seen that VMware is now characterizing its software product efforts into several categories. There's the data center and cloud infrastructure category. There's end-user computing, which includes desktop, Zimbra, things like that. And we also have the application infrastructure layer as well. And each of those is going to get its own training program. Obviously, we started with infrastructure. We're adding cloud courses to our curriculum all the time. I would say that the next time you and I sit down like this, there'll be a private and public cloud theme through all of our vSphere training, not just the course we're coming out with soon called Architecting the Private Cloud, which is precisely focused on it. It's going to become the story that we tell. Sure. But there's also a story to be told in the desktop space. We have a robust list of VMware View classes, which people are really enjoying. We're doing a very nice business with those.
View, I think, is the View 4.5 installation configure. I think is the #1 lab here at Copenhagen.
I'm not at all surprised. View 4.5 really is we have arrived.
It's a good product.
Now's the time. Absolutely right.
So I think it's important for people to know there are online classes as well as instructor-led classes, as well as if you have a group of people, you can hire us to come in.
Yeah, in fact, there's really 4 modalities.
Okay.
You can buy a seat in a public instructor-led class. You can take part in a class live online with a real instructor, but you don't have to travel for it. So you can be sitting there in your underwear, like you and I are right now, in your home. And
no one can tell if we're wearing pants or not.
That's the mystery of this experience.
The magic of TV.
That's right. And we also have on-site delivery, and we have online self-paced training as well for people who not only can't travel, but also have very limited time budgets, as so many of our customers and partners do. There's a lot of learning that they can simply sit down and consume in small chunks during coffee breaks, lunchtime, during commercials, sitting on the sofa with the family. We try to hit all those bases.
Yeah, I mean, of course, and VMware produces a number of, enormous amount of free technical content as well, between GSS and the knowledge-based team and the tech marketing team and solutions marketing teams. And, you know, we've put up a lot of video these days, even you guys, I think we're putting up video for all sorts of reasons. So there's a lot of ways to get close there until you need the formal
That's exactly
training.
right. Like we always say, come on, kid, your first one's free.
The big talk of this year's VMworld has been the labs.
Oh, yes.
You know, pre-populated pools of a virtual data center that the click of a button, you know, are delivered to you over PC over IP from a different continent. So the question everybody asks, and I had the lab guys here, and actually the interesting thing is the lab guys, their answer each time I ask over the months has been less and less squirrely and more, you know, more definite about, okay, at some point, the question everybody asks is, can I do this outside of VMworld? I love these labs. This is great for instructor-led training or self-paced training. So now I'll ask you, is there any chance of that education will be delivering these kind of labs you know, across the cloud at some point?
Absolutely. I'm not ready to announce a date, but you've hit on something that is one of our obsessions. We're halfway there, but we've been halfway for a long time. Our classes have for a long time used a remote lab infrastructure to give the participants a hands-on experience with our products.
That's something we already
That's
do.
exactly right. Well, we started doing this before VMware View was even a twinkle in anyone's eye. So we have a legacy environment that we're moving away from. So sometimes our customers are surprised when they come into a VMware training class and we don't use VMware View. And right now, that's the situation. We use other remote desktop technology. It's not virtual. We connect you to physical hardware. But that's the next step. There's a lot we can do.
We've proven it works.
Yeah.
This was a lot of engineering to make this happen.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but it works. We've proven it works. We've proven it scales. Yeah. So.
Certainly, and that's exactly what we have to do for the training environments.
Great. Well, I think we have to wrap up here. But Brian, thanks for coming on and talking about education and certification.
Always a pleasure. Thanks very much. Take care.
Cheers.